Hey there, friendly call signs. This is Scott from Plays with Soldiers, and in this video, we're going to be talking to Dewi about Bastion, which is a board game convention in Conway, Wales, and it's happening this weekend. Now, this interview was recorded in Q2 of 2025, so since then, some things have changed. For example, Field of Games no longer runs in August, which is a shame, but just bear that in mind as you're watching. Now, tickets for the 2026 event sold out in 18 minutes, so choke on that Coldplay. Sit down, get comfy, and here we go.
Let's talk about Bastion then. How did Bastion start? So I'm going to roll quite a couple of questions in together. So
Yeah, no worries,
how did
man.
Bastion start and how did you get involved in Bastion?
Yeah. So if I remember correctly, at the time, like I said, the Snowdo and New Dragons, the local board game group, we used to meet in a golf club, and I can't remember why, but we ended up all going to the pub for like essentially a meeting, like a sort of deciding where we were going forwards with the group. I think we were discussing about whether to expand to a new area or change location, because I'm pretty certain the golf club didn't really want us anymore. I can't remember exactly why we had that meeting, but I do remember. So Aaron, my friend who moved from the States, and he actually, you know how I was saying like board games for me was really important as far as like social groups and stuff goes. I know that I remember him saying that one of the reasons he chose, because they had a few options as to where to move in the UK, and one of the reasons that they moved to North Wales is because he found that there was a board game group. So like again, for him, also incredibly important. And I remember him suggesting running some sort of convention, and was basically like, who wants to be involved? And I remember saying that I was really keen to be involved, but I wasn't sure how much time I could commit to it, just because at the time I both did my wedding photography and I ran a gallery as well. So time was taken up. And yeah, then it just became a few more extra meetings, because I was good friends with Aaron anyway. And then our other two friends, Tom and Denise, they wanted to get involved as well, and we all get in really well. As the four of us, we're pretty solid friends. From Aaron's suggestion of creating something, finding a location was the next step, which is and still proves to be one of the hardest things to do. Finding a conference space which is both affordable and available is it's not easy. So our very first one was actually at a local hotel. So this was back in 2017. I think it was 17 when our very first one happened. And I remember I went around to we were promoting it at this point. This wasn't like I say, where we are now, where it sells out and stuff each year. Promoting it and stuff, and we had our local group, and we had a few extra people sort of get involved. We've got a good friend, Colin, from who lives up in Scotland, and we met him at the UK Games Expo one year. And he came down to visit, and we had a few other people, no one from too far away, other than like I say, other than from Scotland. I think we had something like 40 odd people at the very first one. It was a 2-day event over, like I say, just in the hotel. There was accommodation. There was opportunity for accommodation, but no one took up. No one used it. We had to kick everyone else at night when they closed up and stuff. But yeah, it was a really good start for sure. And it's just gone on from there. I mean, you've been coming for how long now?
Have I been coming for, I don't know, 5 years, maybe, something like that? I've been 5 times.
Did you come before COVID? You must have.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. You were there for at least 2019, right?
Yes, I must have been.
Okay. Yeah, so that would have only been like the second year that we were in the YHA.
Yeah, yeah, I think so because I've only missed one, and it was because of COVID, and it got bumped. So instead
Yeah,
of January, it got bumped to later in the year,
yeah,
and I deployed, so I couldn't come.
yeah. I remember. Yeah. Um,
But yeah, that's the only year that I've missed in my sort of run of coming to Bastion.
yeah, we were having this discussion at the end of this Bastion that we trying to figure out where 10 years is. So like we had the 1 year which wasn't in the YHA. So, does that count? Kind of, kind of not. And then we of course had COVID. So if I remember correctly, so because Bastion's in January, like we had the 2020 Bastion. So that happened. You would have come to that. You almost certainly would have come to the 2021. But then 2021, we still had restrictions. So with that, gosh, what was it? We didn't have an actual Bastion that year. And then we were able to hire the place just for 1 day, just for some of the local Snowdonia dragons. So that's not really Bastion. And then, of course, then we started again next year. So we've been going for 10 years. We've had 9 events, but is it 9 events? Yeah, going for 10 years. This year, just gone, I think. Is that right?
Yeah,
No,
and then
I'm getting my maths wrong. I'm trying,
uh,
like I said, I think we've been going for like 10 years. We've done 9 events and 8 of them in the YHA. So like, where's the 10th anniversary? What do you reckon? Is it is it about 10 years? Is it?
so your 10th event will be the 10th event that's run under the Bastion name. Doesn't matter where it was run, because
You
if you
reckon
look
so?
at Aircon, for example,
Yeah.
the first Aircon was actually in Mark's flat,
Mhm.
and it was just a bunch
Yeah,
of friends got together. So it sounds very much like your first one where you got together and you had your friend from Scotland.
Yeah.
So if that was your first one, that is your first one. It doesn't matter if it was.
Yeah, that's what I reckon. But yeah, I don't know. It's also a little bit of like it wasn't until we're in the YHA that it really became, what it is, where it is, the whole weekend incredibly social sort of event that we dreamed of, really. Like I say, we're really, really proud of what it is each year. And it's always nice when we get feedback and people say nice things each year. Like it has got to a point where it essentially, there's still stuff to do. There is still stuff to do, but essentially runs itself. I remember the first few years, it was like, first time we've ever done anything like this. So much planning, so much organization. Now it's just we've got to make sure that we're on it as far as tickets go, and then make sure we've got name badges and things, and then it just runs itself. Like, it's really nice to be able to give this sort of experience to the people who are able to come each year. Definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. So why did you settle on the YHA?
Oh, I mean, it's just perfect, right? It's just it's
yeah, don't get me wrong, it's
yeah,
absolutely
yeah. Like settle's the wrong word there, man. Like it's
so when I use the word settle, I don't mean settle as in play down for. I mean settle as in, you've mentioned that you looked at different venues and stuff like that. So what? Changing the wording then, how did you choose the YHA over another venue?
Yeah. Like I say, it's we have over the years we've had a few people say that they want to run something similar. They love the idea of it. They've been a couple of times and then want to run their version of Bastion, whatever, anywhere else. And its location is the hardest thing. Like I say, for us, it's particularly difficult being in a tourist location, and like January is basically the only time we can do it. We want to be able to offer accommodation, gaming space, and make it affordable as well. And like if you look at any other location which could potentially do that, it would be essentially a wedding venue. It's places which have accommodation and nice event space, they are wedding venues. In which case, the summer is just out because, and it's even the same with YHA. The summer is out because it's busy. That's when everything gets busiest again, especially in North Wales. Everyone flocks to Wales in the summer, and yeah, like I said, they were really accommodating. They're the loveliest people. The guys who run the place. They've said multiple times that they have a few people who do not a convention, but like hire out the space for a weekend, and they're like, yeah, no, you guys are some of the cleanest and nicest people to work with. Always really nice. And it is just that perfect storm of it's a really nice location. Like even just like having these lovely views while you're playing games, like being able to look out one side and see the sea, and the other side and you've got the mountains. We've got people like like yourself who travel, and I know a few folk even use it as an excuse to come over, play some games, and then maybe do some hikes up the mountains as well. And yeah, being able to do it at a time of year where everyone needs a little bit of a little bit of sunshine, a little bit of bit of a pick you up. Like I said, it's just a perfect place for it, really. We can, like, it would be lovely to go bigger, but it's not. I don't think we'll ever, as long as they'll have us, I don't think we'll ever leave the YHA, to be honest. It's just right for us, and like I said, there's nowhere else to go.
Yeah. So if you could add anything to Bastion, regardless of the budget or the manpower or the skills needed to run it or anything like that, if you had a dream ticket, genie with a magic wand that you could add to Bastion, what would it be?
Oh, you know what, man, this is like one of the harder questions, because it's something we've discussed loads. Like, at what point does it? So we often get folk who like, oh, are you ever going to go bigger? Are you ever going to like expand and maybe have a summer event or something? Or, but the problem is, if we change much of it, like anything of it, is it Bastion at that point? Like that we're able to, because we get, I'm sure we like cap the tickets at 120 people each year. And we're all in this space, and what's like, you're sharing space with 120 other people over a weekend. If you had more people, then everything just becomes a lot messier, a lot quicker. We're all sharing a kitchen. It's just this communal event, and if we have more, does it lose the feeling of this sort of community that you sort of build over the weekend? I mean, like a little bit extra like gaming space would be nice. Like the opportunity to allow people to have, I mean, most folk are fine with bunk beds and stuff, but if we're able to offer something nicer as far as the rooms and stuff goes, but then, like I said, we wouldn't be able to go at the price that we do. So, like, there's very little that there's not. Like. I love it. It's my favorite weekend of the year. Like, genuinely, like I over my birthday, over holidays, over Christmas, whatever. Bastion's a thing I look forward to every year more than anything else. And I would worry that changing anything of it it wouldn't be the same event anymore.
Yeah, no, I hear that. Yeah, it's like, but Bastion for me, as you say, it's January. We're still in winter, but the last convention I would have been to, or the last event I would have been to, would either have been Games Expo, or it would have been Field of Games, which happens in Silverstone in August. Now, I didn't get to do Field of Games last year, so Expo was my last one. So that's 6 months between Expo and Bastion. And Bastion's like the beginning of like gaming con season for me, and I do Bastion, and then I do Aircon, and I do Games Expo, and I do Field of Games, and so I used to do KCon when that existed. But it's like this year it's going to be different because Field of Games isn't running because of issues with venue, so it's going to be Bastion, Aircon, Games Expo, and then there's a 6 month gap between Games Expo and Bastion. So in January is just such a way to like lift those spirits.
Exactly, yeah. Just start the year on a high, and yeah. I mean, I would love to have a second one. That'd be amazing. But like I said, I just don't think it's just not really possible. Not at the moment. It's not happening. It'd be lovely. Maybe I just need to go. I just need to go to more conventions like you. Just need to find somewhere I'm actually available for, and head on down. But yeah.
So, last kind of thing I'm going to ask you is, one of the great things about Bastion is you generally get the same people every year. As you've mentioned, we are very much a community, and we share a space well together.
Yeah.
Right? Do you have a funny story about something or someone that's happened at Bastion that you want to share with us, that, like something that you think of and it makes you laugh?
Putting me on the spot now. I can't think of anything particularly funny, but like I said, it's it is, like you said, it is the nicest thing about it is the people. Like, that's the only reason why it works as well as it does. Like, we literally have the best people who turn up every week, every year. It's funny, like I get really excited about it, and look forward to it every time. And then the Friday night happens, and we've set everything up, and usually pretty tired by that point. But and everyone comes and they're like, right, cool, we're going to start playing games. And like always, I'll get people like, it's like, oh, do you want to play this? I'm like, you know what, I just want to stay and chat and meet people, and it is just like I say, it's the people that make it. I'm trying to think if there is anything that's happened over the years. Like I say, nothing that I can think of. It's just just such a good community of folk. Like, no, I genuinely love it. I mean, I don't know, like, do you have a really favorite memory of coming or anything? Like, I mean, you know what, one thing which I do genuinely really, really love seeing each year is folk wearing tactical kilts, and we got it's this opportunity to be able to sort of be a person that you want to be for a weekend. We've got someone who will often just walk around with like a Viking helmet and stuff. I don't know if you've seen him. Like, like I say, it's just really nice to be able to see people just expressing who they are and stuff, and being so inclusive.
Yeah, I agree. I think two of the things that I really like about Bastion is there was a few years ago, Yvonne and Sarah did a cooking like murder mystery.
Yeah, I remember that. I was so gutted I didn't get on that. That looks so much fun.
It was lots and lots of fun. It was really good fun. What other con could you go to where that would happen? It wouldn't happen at Aircon, wouldn't happen at Expo, wouldn't happen at HandyCon or anywhere else.
No, or it'd be like a ticketed event where it's all very like, a thing going, rather than just like, oh, Yvonne's in the kitchen, she's cooking a game, like it's it'll be ready in a while. Do you want to join in? Cool, yeah, there's a space left. That kind of thing. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, that's probably one of my sort of favorite memories, like of Bastion, and the sort of cheese and pickle event.
Oh yeah, sure, yeah, I've seen you guys do that. Yeah. No, like I said, it's just nice just being able to have these. It's fun if you ever just walk around. If you ever just walk around and see these sort of little communities of what people are getting up to. You've got a crowd downstairs who are playing Blood on the Clock Tower, or I know like you guys always tend to go for that same table over in the corner by the kitchen, or you've got cheese and pickle lot going on. And then it's the pub quiz downstairs, and maybe someone's running an RPG up in the because we've got that space up in the sort of roof. Yeah, exactly. I love just being able to just see what it is that people are doing, and it's nice as well. I've heard from a few folk who now use it as almost like this yearly event where, say, if they're friends and they're not particularly close anymore, like location-wise, just having like, oh, but Bastion's one of those times of the year where we meet up and we all do like every year. It's nice. It's nice being able to, like I say, have that community. And it's not, it's not necessarily that people are in cliques or whatever. Like we'll often like play games together. Saying that, you and me still need to. We still haven't ever played anything together. We need to rectify that next year. Before anything else happens, you and me are playing something.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but yeah, like I say, it's just lovely being able to see all of this, all these people come together, and it's nice. Yeah. I love it.
I mean, that was one of the great things about this year. So, as you said, we turned up, so there was, me and Ben are best mates, but we're not geographically close to each other, but we still see each other every month. Liam and I are quite close together geographically, so we see each other fairly regularly. Rob, I only ever see Rob at Bastion. I never see him at anything else. But so we came in, as you said, we kind of took that table over, and we played there all the Saturday. We went downstairs, we played Blood on the Clock Tower, we came back, and then and that was the Saturday night. And on the Sunday, we didn't actually play any games together until right at the end of Sunday, because we'd met a whole bunch of new people at Blood on the Clock Tower, and we talked about we had conversations about games and stuff like that. And on Sunday morning, somebody came up to Ben and went, "Oh, do you fancy playing this that we were talking about last night?" And he's like, "Yeah, let's go do that." I ended up playing with a couple of people who, until the night before, I'd never met before. Rob did exactly the same, ended up playing with a couple of people that he never met before. So just out one game of Blood on the Clock Tower, we ended up playing with another 8 or 10 different people that none of us had ever met before until the day previously.
Yeah. No.
We'd seen them at Bastion previously, but we didn't know their names, and we'd never met them before. So
that was the best thing about board games, right? Like, who knows who you're going to meet and like what friends you're going to make and stuff. I mean, it was Colin, friend from Scotland. You must have met him. Really, very loud Scottish guy. He comes every year to Bastion.
yes.
But we met because it was at the UK Games Expo. I brought a copy of. Have you ever played Two Rooms and a Boom?
Yeah.
Massive social, deduction game. You can have like 30 odd people. And I started just grabbing a few random people to play that just in one of the gaming halls. This was back in like 2016 or so. Grabbed a few random people. Colin was just one of them, and then just joined in, and he just joined the group, and he never left. And like I said, it's really nice because like lives up in Scotland, and it's really nice when every year it's a chance to be able to comes down, like it's a guarantee, but being able to then use that as an opportunity to meet other people, and there's still people who've been coming for the last 10 years or so that I have not played any games with, you included, which is always a bit of a shame, but it's like I say, it's not necessarily about clicks. It's about, like I say, this chance to be able to see friends, and you get to make new friends as well. It's like I say, it's the best weekend of the year, easily. At least I think so.
Right, well, we'll draw it to a close there. So thanks very much for coming on.
Man. No, thanks for having me on.
Yeah, thanks very much for taking the time. It's been great. So if people want to know more about Bastion, where do they find it? You can Google Bastion.
Oh, if you Google Bastion Board Games, you'll find us. I'm pretty certain it's Bastion Wales. Just Google it. You'll find us.
Okay. Well, you take care, and I'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, you too, man. All right.
Bye now.
Bye.
That's Bastion, that's happening in Conway, Wales this weekend. If you're lucky enough to have a golden ticket, I will see you there. Come over, say hello, maybe we'll get a game together. Dewi, you're definitely on the list for this weekend. Don't forget to come back and look out for the follow-up video where we look at games we played and things that we did. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe and all those social media niceties. And above all, remember, stay friendly.